It's 10:28. That means it's time for some Celebrity Dish. And we've got our good friend here, the media prince. Unfortunately, we don't have smell-o-vision. He smells amazing, as always. Our floor director was like, you smell good. So that's a compliment.
That's such a good compliment.
Right, because if it ended at you smell, right, then we got a problem.
Right. And we're in an era where, you know, the smells are smelling.
Right,
so
right.
to know that I'm out of the good smell.
And those who have ever questioned fashion in D.C., ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Mr. Fashionable.
There you go. And with that, you ready to get into it?
Yes, let's get into it.
All right, first up, it's all anyone is talking about this morning. Will Smith finally breaking his silence on his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith's memoir, Worthy. The actor sharing an append letter to British podcaster and author, life coach, Jay Shetty, that he feels, quote, heartbroken and shocked over the revelations found in his wife's book. The 55-year-old Oscar winner seemed to take the book overall positively, despite admitting that some moments caught him off guard, calling his wife's book a show of her resilience, before adding that it's woke him up, in his words. So, what do we think? I know this is probably your first time ever talking about this. What do you think?
I just have to keep talking about this. I talked about this yesterday on TMZ. I just wish Jada and Will would let us out the never-ending group chat that we just cannot get out of. It just seems like every day we're learning something new about their relationship that first we didn't ask for, and secondly, why do we need to know this? And what does this now help with how you guys are perceived with us? Because I used to look at Will and Jada as like the epitome of like black love and black excellence, and now I'm just looking at them as confusion.
I did see J. Cole in one of his performances recently. You know how he goes, that Will and Jada love. I'm butchering the lyric right now, but one of his songs, and he took out that line, and he just like let the crowd have it, and then he took it back. I was like, I don't know if I want that Will and Jada love. What do you think of this?
This is entanglement on another level. It's interesting to me, though, that he didn't get a preview of her book. I mean, to think that she wrote the entire thing. It didn't say whether they're separated or not. This is what I'm going to be talking about, honey, or my friend now. Not only that, but it's interesting how he has now become the victim, if you will. Remember that whole slap with Chris Rock? In essence, he was the villain. Well, quite honestly, now I feel bad for Will Smith.
I think a lot of people feel bad for him. I do wonder.
I feel bad for us, because we have to keep listening to this.
We're the victims. No, I do think there are times when sharing your personal story is to the benefit of others, right? In this case, I'm finding it hard to believe that, at the very least, because I wonder if maybe you should share it when you're on the other side. And it seems like they're very much in the midst of it. So I'm not sure who it really benefits.
And then there's kids, too. Can't forget about their kids.
We still have, by the way, because we're not done talking about Will and Jada, we still have more from Kevin McCarthy's one-on-one with Jada in about 10 minutes. This is about her book that is coming out today, I believe. So we are learning more, switching gears, by the way, about the last days of actress Suzanne Summers. Page 6 reports that her husband, Alan Hamill, says the star, quote, fought until her last breath to stay alive. He says that she died holding his hand. Page 6 says Hamill told them Summers used every treatment available after her breast cancer returned earlier this year. Summers was an outspoken fan of holistic medicine. She died one day before her 77th birthday. Her son Bruce posted a tribute to his mother on his Instagram, writing in part, quote, she soared higher than most can dream. She was a friend, a wife, a sister, a daughter, an entertainer, an icon, and a legend. But to me, she was just mom. She and her husband, by the way, were married 50 years. What do you think?
Oh, first of all, I'm so sad. I have a story with this. Growing up in humble beginnings, there was a time when Media Prince did not have cable. So the shows that rotated on TV were Three's Company, MASH, All in the Family. So Three's Company was my jam. So I watched that over and over and over again. So I really like her. Until this day, it's in rotation with what I watch on Amazon and, you know, our shows from back in the day. So it's definitely sad to see her go.
This was the first introduction to apartment living and how it is to you know, live in that situation. I'm curious to know that if she well, it's obvious. She did everything she could in order to combat cancer. This shows how serious it is. Money wasn't an issue. I mean, if we all know that she amassed over $300 million from that, the product that she was pushing at one point. So to think that she still had to, she reached the entire limit that she could to combat the cancer, and it still didn't work out. It's just, it's truly heartbreaking.
I do hope her family finds comfort in seeing how much she was loved and the legacy that she leaves behind, not just in terms of what she did as an entertainer, but just for women and trailblazing. So hopefully that brings them some comfort.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, next up, Robert De Niro is revealing he is not a very hands-on dad. The 80-year-old new father recently welcomed a baby with his 45-year-old girlfriend, Tiffany Chen. He told The Guardian that Tiffany does most of the heavy lifting, taking care of their 5-month-old daughter. De Niro confessed to the outlet that having kids, quote, doesn't get easier. The father of 7 also added, it is what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, what do you think?
Wait, what? This is like great granddad age, and now he's a dad. A new dad.
And I think his oldest is maybe either older or the same age as his wife.
Oh, wow.
His new wife, or the mother of his child, at least. But
congratulations, and go on to the good fight, because that's a bad. Yeah. I don't know how to deal with that. That's like a whole new level of stress to have to deal with in your 80s.
It's the issue for me is that he's just saying, you know what, I'm okay with not really having a relationship as yet with my youngest child.
Or at least not being as hands-on.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Can you be as hands-on?
To a certain extent, you would think so. I mean, he's had the experience. This is child number 7.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's changed a diaper or 2 before.
Yeah.
And so just to say that, to me, it says, I'm going to once again let the money take care of it and be appreciative for me being your father.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to add.
It is a nice legacy to have, though, as the child is definitely going to have still a good life.
Yeah, yeah. As long as you hand the kid might be like, as long as you hand me the money.
Right.
But no, I'm kidding. I would hope he would be a little more hands-on with the child. All right, moving on to Taylor Swift, someone we also haven't talked about a lot in recent days. Her Eras Tour movie is igniting a whole new topic of conversation around the theater etiquette. Swifties are feeling a bit of bad blood after seeing Taylor's latest tour on the big screen this weekend. Several taking to TikTok to air out their frustrations after they say fans were singing out loud in the theater. Some pulling out their cell phones and their flashlights on their cell phones, while others couldn't contain their excitement, getting up out of their chairs to dance in the aisles. And it is bringing up a conversation about what's appropriate in a theater and what is not. I am not a Swiftie, and I appreciate her music, but I'm saying to the level of dedication that her fans do, and yet I knew it was on and popping in the movie theaters for her movie. Like that, if there was one thing you could expect, it was that folks were going to be dancing up and all of that. I would go after the debut. You see what I'm saying? Yep. Just like at the Beyonce concert, folks would be, the concert
That's like you coming to club, and it sounds like you're playing and we're clubbing.
Right. Can you imagine going to a Beyonce concert film and people were singing? What? That's what you can
And a lot
expect.
of the Swifties, because I'm Team Swiftie, a lot of them, unfortunately, were probably not able to go to the tour. So this going to the movie is their time to see the tour. So they're singing and dancing.
Yeah, I'm with the Swifties on this one.
Yeah,
Swift away. Do your thing. We're going to do it when Beyonce's thing comes out. All right, moving on to Drake, who's topping the Billboard singles and album charts this week. The rise to the top also marks a big milestone for the rapper, who just tied with the Michael Jackson for the most #1 hits by a male solo artist of all time. With his latest single, First Person Shooter, Drake adds lucky number 13 to his chart toppers. The track also marks the first #1 single for featured artist J. Cole.
Oh, good for him.
Which is crazy that J. Cole's got his first #1 single.
Right. When I read that too, I was like, wow, first one?
I don't know. Anyway, that's a separate conversation. So a lot of people are saying, should he be on par, like same level as Michael Jackson because of this?
Well, I think stat-wise, he is on the same level as Michael Jackson. Now, we're talking about overall entertainer and pop star icon. Of course not.
No.
But I think Drake is now competing numbers-wise with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, hands down, he is one of the best artists of our time, and arguably of all time. I mean, and especially within hip hop. I mean, I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but you got to bow down when you have to bow down. And in this case, he has done amazing things as an artist, and will continue to do so.
And this is great because they're both on the Mount Rushmore of hip-hop.
Yeah.
And so now they got the #1 together, so that's a big win.
I do wonder, though, if this brings up the conversation of does commercial success equal, like, how the level to which you are a musician, right? Like Michael Jackson, I think, was a musical genius.
Yeah.
Like when it came to dance, when it came to singing, all of that. Producing, I mean, all of it.
Right.
And so does that, just because you have the same number, in this case of #1 hits, does that mean that you're on the same level?
Absolutely
or
not.
Does your music just appeal more to the masses?
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
It's a good argument.
And I love me some Drake. So I'm just saying. This is coming from I don't know what they call Drake fans, but anyway, that's me being real. All right. Thank you for joining us, by the way.
Thank you guys for having me.